No, 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 no. I am not gonna stop after 4 hours of recording until I finish this review. And I know I shouldn't, but I'm going to. Because on a day like this, when nothing goes right, it would be just the smartest thing to stop and start fresh the next day. But since I'm still here recording, I'm not doing the smart thing, and I'm gonna call this casual day, pretend like it's supposed to be like that, with some silliness, maybe more, maybe a little bit less. I have no idea, because I am done. I've had enough, but I'm not finished. So let's get finally to the review of the Jaybird X4. And it's actually weird that it took me 4 generations to get my hands on these. Cost about $130 unless they are on sale. And in case you don't know what these are, over-the-neck sporty Bluetooth earphones. That's what they are. So what do we get in the packaging? It's actually quite a lot in terms of accessories. Some nice, some weird ones, because the pouch where we can store everything is absolutely fine. I still like that a lot, because we can get everything in it, even though what's in it? It's a little bit odd, because I mean, I totally get the cable clip. Yes, fine. But it starts with the silicone tips. We get medium and large. Foam tips, large and medium. Where is small? I mean, I would totally get it if we wouldn't have 3 different sizes. Yeah, large, medium and small. Ear hooks. Sorry guys, but what am I missing here? I don't get it. But let's just forget that and talk about also one thing that is weird in terms of size, which is the charging cable, which works like this. So you just plug it in and it charges. I mean, the solution is cool, but why is this cable so short? Because all of my chargers are at the bottom of the room, which is called floor, which means, yeah, the earphones are at the floor. Once again, why? Okay, let's get to the headphones themselves. There is this thing that I don't know how it's called, but so many people seem to think it's genius, because you can shorten the cable, which seems to be good, but the cable is not good. I'm gonna get into why if I don't forget it. The remote is fine, because we have volume up, volume down, play and pause, microphone. And now let's get to the earphones. Build quality is absolutely fine, nice and lightweight, but built very well, so they don't feel cheap. I was concerned about the fact that the medium sized, which are the smallest sized silicone tips, were just too big for my ear. I had a lot of pressure in my ear, so I did not like that much. But it's this foam that absolutely sold me and is absolutely great, because if it's cold, it's a little bit hard, but once it's in your ear and gets a little bit warm, it's actually so nice and soft. And I'm definitely not gonna judge for my left little weird ear, because that's also the reason why I don't have a hook on the left side, because with that hook in my left small ear, there was just too much pushing in and too much pressure, and it wasn't all that comfortable. Without, it's still secure enough due to the foam holding in, and it's way more comfortable. But judging on my normal, at least something's normal, my normal right ear, I have to say, you just push them in, you don't really have to squish them up before, and then the ear hook holds it so secure in place, and I think I could actually rip out my ear before I would rip out the earphone if I would just pull on the cable. And you pretty much don't notice these, at least I don't do, on the right ear, that it's actually in. It's so subtle, and the only reason why I notice that I have them in is due to the great isolation, because the foam isolates surroundings very well. Everything is muffled quite a lot, but you can still hear people talking, which is a nice thing. But the comfort for hours and hours is actually superb. On the left ear, not so much, but that's, yeah, forget that ear. That's here really nicely done, so I'm sold on that. So let's talk about Bluetooth and the app. This is the app. As you can see, we have a lot of presets. It connects pretty easily. I mean, yeah, Bluetooth, you know how to pair that. You can see here some presets that people have done, which works a little bit odd, because if you, for example, you can drag these around, and it's a little bit odd to kind of get what you exactly want. But once you spend enough time with it, this is, for example, what I did, but by accident I changed it a little bit. But as you can see here, I took out quite a lot of bass, added a little bit mids and some highs, and then I was at a point where I was fine, because I think you need to adjust the sound a little bit. At least that was my thinking. Battery life about 6 to 6.5 hours, absolutely fine. They are IPX rated, I think IPX5, which is good for sweat and so on. Connectivity was fine, even though you shouldn't be too far away from the phone, which is normal, because I don't think you will run away and leave your phone there unless you maybe run less than 10 meters. That's highly unlikely. So keep it close and the connection should be stable enough. I had some very rare cutouts, but that's that. 6.5 hours of battery life is okay. I would wish for an hour more, but if you're just running, it's, I think, totally enough. So let's get into the sound signature and sound stage first though. It's not big, which is okay for a very isolating, sporty, closed ear earphone. Absolutely closed ear. Closed back earphone. Imaging was fine, but the sound signature out of the box was a little bit too much, because it's not like that the bass was drowning into them or bleeding into the mids and highs. It was just overshadowing the whole rest, because these were very, very bass heavy. Everyone who likes a lot of bass will enjoy these, but like what I did, for example, you just push down the mids a little bit, the bass, add a little bit mids and the highs, where it gets noticeably more balanced, even though I'm not expecting to be super neutral or accurate, because I mean, you are running after all. You don't have the time to listen too much to every little detail. That's fine. You want something that kind of shuts you off the rest, but pleases you and just gives you a great experience, which you will get once you adjust them a little bit. Because, for example, the bass. The bass is, I would say, pretty clean. It's not really boomy, which is nice, but it's definitely overly emphasized. It expands quite okay to the mid bass. It's not super high detailed or super resolutioned. Yeah, works. Super resolution is fine enough, but it makes a pleasing job. Mids are, I would say, least spectacular thing. They do what they do and do it fine. Vocals are on the same track like the rest, so that's okay. But for me, the kind of, for what they are, spectacular thing, actually the very, very satisfying thing, are the highs, because they are cut off, but especially at the right point where they should cut off for what they are doing. Because like I said, it's not to be something super audiophile, so you won't get all the details. It won't sound super brilliant, super clear, but it also will never sound sibilant, never sharp, not ever rough or anything like that. So they cut off pretty much at that point before it starts to get harsh, but you still get all the details, so it doesn't sound muffled or like you're losing too much out on details. And this was overall, once, like I said, with the equalizer settled and balanced, a very pleasing, rounded, very polished, smooth, very enjoyable listening experience. So I could focus on the workout, that I don't really do that much, otherwise I wouldn't be such a fat ass. But it was very pleasing because I could just enjoy the sound, a very nice mainstream kind of sounded way, but not too much out of the box, maybe yes, but that was fine. So that already brings me to the conclusion. 130 bucks, are those worth that? I personally can't say, because there are a few things that I have to complain about, which is this cable that I almost forgot. I don't like this cable at all. Why? Because it's super sticky. I don't know why. I mean, it's nice that you can kind of make it shorter, but that shorter didn't help me, because when I moved to the sides, it always got stuck, which works better, for example, here on the Soul Run 3 Pro, which are also like sporty earphones, but this is way smoother, so this doesn't tangle up. It also has the kind of way to make the cable shorter, but this works better. Just in terms of the comfort of the earphones, the Jaybirds are better. Now the Soul are a little bit different in terms of value, because they're also 130 bucks about that, but they have some sensors in for sports, with a sports voice coach and something like that. So it's not quite the same. They have a solution that is cheaper, that is comparable with these Jaybirds. Sound different, was a little bit different. These were also very enjoyable once you equalize them a little bit, but just in terms of driver quality and audio quality itself, these were better, and they worked out pretty nice. 130 though, if you're just looking out for great sound, there are better solutions, like for example the RHA 650 or 750, because those are meant more for casual use, not for running and so on. These definitely don't have the great fit, not the secure hold in your ear, but better sound experience. But if you're looking for a great fit in your ear, something that is sweat proof and something that works reliable, good enough battery life and so on, then these are pretty nice. I can't really compare them to anything else, because I haven't really compared any others in this region, but I like them quite a lot. They are just not right for me. My left ear is too odd for these, still after all, two big earphones. Yeah, but right ear, normal ear, you should be fine. You should be fine. I'm not fine, not today. If any further questions, down there below, where I should be. Okay, until next time, bye.